Hello, my name is Matthew Pfeiffer with MattPfeifferCoaching.com. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. On this channel, I talk about all things narcissism. I answer the emails from viewers who send me in emails and ask questions about their narcissistic significant other, family member, or workplace environment. If you have a question that you want me to answer right here on my YouTube channel, send it to justaskmatt@mattpfeiffercoaching.com, and I would love to answer any questions that you might have. Just make sure that you keep the email 2 to 3 paragraphs max, being very direct and to the point about the question that you have, because I have a lot of emails I have to get to, and I also read the emails online. It just makes it easier for everyone to digest. But if you need immediate assistance, the best way to get in touch with me is to book a paid phone coaching session or virtual session by going to mattpfeiffercoaching.com, or you can go to the link tree in the description below. With that being said, let me get to this email. This email reads, I am 4 months no contact from my ex-husband except during the divorce mid-September. I thought I had my trauma/emotional emotions behind me. 4 months, that would have been an unrealistic expectation, in particular if this was a long-term marriage, let's say 10 plus years. 4 months of recovery, getting your trauma responses and your emotions back in check, slightly unrealistic, and I'll tell you why here in a second. Suddenly, I am triggered by everything, and have picked up some obsessive cleaning. Is obsessive cleaning a trauma response? Why after 4 months of no contact am I feeling these emotions resurface all over again? So let's talk about triggers for a second. Triggers, when we are talking about being triggered, CPTSD. So people who suffer emotional abuse and mental abuse suffer from CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorders. Very similar to PTSD, except that a lot of times it's more emotionally based. People begin to isolate. They have triggers and they have different emotional and trauma responses based on these triggers from the emotional and mental and at times physical abuse that they have gone through. And so the obsessive cleaning could be a trauma response. I don't have enough information here, but let's say that that the person that you're with, the narcissist that you're with, was very OCD about keeping the house clean, and and you had hell to pay if it weren't clean, if it weren't spotless, and put you in a position where that you were in a double bind, that it was never clean enough, and he or she was consistently, repeatedly criticizing about the cleanliness of the house, to a point where you took ownership and had an identity attached to the cleanliness of the home, and felt the burden of that. Then this definitely could turn into a trauma response for sure. However, when we're talking about triggers, and we're talking about how people emotionally react and emotionally respond to different situations and different scenarios in our environment, in the world, when people are speaking to us, whatever that trigger might be. Triggers are not the enemy. They are our friend. And the reason why I say that is that they are the parts of us that need healing, right? And so if you are finding yourself being triggered to the point where you are obsessively cleaning, there's an area there that you need to visit, most likely with a coach or a therapist. Obviously, you're more than welcome to book an appointment with me, and we can start to dig deeper into these emotional responses and these triggers. And what happens is that you will discover the reason why, the original wound, the core wound of the reason why you're behaving this way. And what happens is that that's an area that you need to feel safe in, long story short. And when you begin to heal that, and when you embrace this trigger, you're able to turn this thing around. And not only will you heal the wound, you will feel better, you'll feel more comfortable, and you'll be a better version of yourself. This is very common. Quite often people, keep in mind that when you're with the narcissist, you have to sacrifice who you are to please the narcissist. That means that you have to suffocate your own emotions, your own feelings, your own thoughts, And what happens is that when you are 4 months out, 6 months out, sometimes even years out, things begin to resurface. And so when these things happen, a lot of times it's very common for people to feel like they've made regression, and it's not the case. It's just an unhealed wound that has resurfaced. Maybe you didn't experience that trigger before because the environment wasn't right for it. So triggers are, they're not, once again, they're not the enemy. They are our friend. And also, with that being said, you can have triggers resurface later on down the line, months, even years down the line. When that happens, you just explore it, right? You deal with the trigger, you heal the wound, and you go from there. But it's in no way a regression, and it is no way a symbol that you are not healing, and it is in no way any type of negative reflection on you whatsoever. Thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, if you have questions, send them into justaskmatt@mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Be very direct and to the point about your question, keeping it 2 to 3 paragraphs max. Also, if you need immediate help, make sure you go to mattpfeiffercoaching.com or the link tree down below and to book a session. And until then, I will talk to you soon.